Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 58. Is Fairwin a crypto Ponzi? New crypto stealing malware, and Ron Paul to headline Litecoin summit. Now, happy Saturday afternoon, Saturday night to you guys, depending on when you are watching from. Yeah, I hope you're having a great time. You're having a blast today, and I'm glad that you're here with us tonight to go over some news, right? What is happening with the crypto market now? If you're catching this stream live, welcome, and if you are catching the replay and have any suggestions, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you are thinking. Now, if you want to keep up to date with the latest crypto related news, make sure you subscribe, you hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. We are live every night at 9 p.m. Central, so yeah. If you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. The link is in the description. On to the news. I have this article. I'm not gonna go too much into detail. The first two articles, I'm not gonna go too much into detail, right? This is more like for discussion. So, North Korea developing cryptocurrency that will be more like Bitcoin. Then they say, one of many, yeah. Will North Korea's crypto be a threat? That's the question that I want to talk about, right? Now, it's fine that they're developing their crypto, right? They want to digitize their money. I mean, a little bit like Bitcoin, unsure yet how it will be like Bitcoin. Not too much detail on that. I think it's gonna be a little bit more like the whatever China's coming out with, right? Their digital yuan. So it's gonna be centralized. It's not gonna be decentralized. So again, I don't think it's gonna be too much like Bitcoin. But again, will it be a threat? I mean, they can create it, right? And then they would have to somehow sell it. So for them to be able to make money off that crypto, so they can sell, they can start doing other things with that money that they receive, they would have to trade this, right? So that means people would have to accept it. Now, how many people will accept the Korean crypto? Yet unknown, right? North Korean crypto, specifying that because South Korea. Anyways, how many people will take it? I'm not sure, man. It's a good question. How many people will? They're gonna try to go sell it. Maybe some countries that they are in good standing with could potentially buy some. Their people might start using it as a digital means to transact with. But other than that, I'm not sure how much of a threat it's gonna be. They might be able to get around sanctions. That's the good thing, I guess. But other than that, I'm not sure how much of a threat it's actually gonna be. Anyways, I just want to touch real quick on that article. Next article is TradeZero introduces commission-free option trading, cryptocurrency capabilities, and platform improvements. Now, the only thing that is interesting for us is the cryptocurrency capabilities. Sorry about that, guys. Damn, that was a weird noise on the street. Anyways, TradeZero introduces commission-free options trading, crypto capabilities, and platform improvements. The only thing here that we really care about is the cryptocurrency capabilities. Options are coming in October. That's cool. But next steps, right? One of the goals is to introduce cryptocurrency trading. That is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. TradeZero is a exchange. They deal with stocks and stuff like that. So them being able to put cryptos on that, it just makes sense, right? So it's gonna be an established exchange that's gonna start going into crypto, and it's not gonna be one of these just it's kind of like a broker platform, right? But it's gonna be one of these someone that has a lot of experience that's gonna go into this market, and not just made up exchanges that had no prior experience, right? These guys have been around for a while. So it's pretty cool, man. I do like that they're gonna get into crypto. Again, more adoption, right? Whoever trades in their platform is gonna be able to see that, and then you're gonna have more people jumping into the market because they saw crypto on the TradeZero, right? So again, it's a plus. Anyways, on to the market. Let's look at what's going on. Well, yesterday market cap, right, made positive day. Plus 0.31 right now, losing a little bit, 0.51. Yesterday closing at 210.73 billion. Right now sitting at 209.65 billion, right? What is going on with dominance? Bitcoin yesterday gained a little bit, right? Made a little bit positive dominance, very little. Plus 0.07%. from an opening of from an opening of 70.01, closing at 70.06. Right now, sitting at 70.03. Right, and making a little bit of negative dominance, losing dominance, 0.03%. Let's go into the Bitcoin article. On Bitcoin, well, apparently there's a new warning for Bitcoin buyers concerning another threat to their cryptocurrency investment, an active and ongoing threat campaign that steals Bitcoin wallets. I mean, guys, be careful, guys, really. Malware is no joke when it comes to crypto. Now, security research from Juniper Threat Labs have reported how spyware delivered by a Trojan and using the encrypted Telegram messaging platform for data exfiltration targets cryptocurrency wallets. Now, the off-the-shelf malware identified as Mossad, Clipper, and Stealer is currently being distributed in black market forums online. The malware starts off free, but the prices ramp up to $85 for the versions with the most functionalities. I'm not sure how they got this information. I mean, this is from Forbes. Maybe someone went on the dark web to try to get it, but yeah, anyways, $85 for malware. Anyways, the malware is at heart a simple spyware. It looks for sensitive data through the web browsers, including credit card details, passwords, autofill fields, cookies, installed software, and processes desktop files and system information. And, well, crypto wallets, right? One of the functions of the Mossad malware is to interrogate the system clipboard looking for data that matches the configuration of specific cryptocurrency wallets. And if a match is detected, the Mossad replaces that clipboard data and wallet with a wallet belonging to the attacker, which is coded into the malware binary. Yeah, so be careful with that, guys. Do run scans on your computers, on your cell phones, make sure you're safe. 5 people tuned in. Thank you for watching, guys. Again, happy Saturday night. Anyways, this article I do like. Talks about the abrupt drop, on Bitcoin price, and it's interesting what they actually say about it. Now, it says that the abrupt drop seems to have caused a shift in the sentiment surrounding the industry. We talked about it. We said that the sentiment was very bearish lately. So, although not providing a reason for the sell-off, on-chain data suggests that much of the downside pressure was from short-term Bitcoin holders, and this was according to data from Glassnode Studio. The firm's researchers have reached these conclusions by looking at 2 chain metrics, on-chain metrics. The first is an average spent output lifespan. It measures the average age in days of spent transaction outputs on the Bitcoin blockchain. Currently, the average age of a spent transaction output is between 36 and 37. This is reasonably low compared to much of Bitcoin's history, meaning that more Satoshis are spending less time in the same place, meaning people are holding less, right? So few long-term holders are hitting the market. So, people are keeping it for a longer term. I'm not even going to transact with it. Now, on the second metric identified by Glassnode Studios, called coin days destroyed, it provides the number of days each coin has stayed unmoved at the time the transaction is executed. For example, if an individual transacted 5 Bitcoins that had been in the same wallet for exactly 1 year, that transaction would represent 1,825 coins days destroyed, right? Meaning that they're not in circulation. Now, again, this metric shows that there is more activity from newly moved coins than there is from long-term holders surrounding the sudden crash. Meaning, people that are gutting recently are probably the ones that are selling it, and not so much the people that have been around for a while. Because if you have been around for a while, you probably are still making good profit, and probably the people that are selling it are the people that are gutting at higher prices, and are getting impatient or probably getting scared. Anyways, these are the 2 datas from the charts, right? Yeah. Let's move on to what is going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin price on the daily. What is going on today? Losing a little bit. Yesterday made price action positive, right? Gain a little bit of price. Right now, losing it basically, sitting at $8,170. Second day of losing momentum, right? That's good. We are starting to stagnate, probably go down a little bit more. I mean, like I said, we can still create more islands of negative momentum, like here, like go out, ramp up again. But I would hope that this dies down a little bit, at least resets, and then we're able to see something happen, right? Sitting low on the RSI at 23.91, still on that oversold, unable to get higher. However, if you can look at this, even though we're making negative momentum, it's more or less the same because, you know, we're kind of like stagnating in price. And we're going to look at that. We're just tunneling, basically. And it's weird because we should have expected to see a move, right? Calm day of trading. Yes, Benny, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for commenting. Yes, it has been a slow day, man. Not much developing. I was hoping for that tightness on the Bollinger Bands to be short-lived, but apparently it has been there for at least 24 hours. We'll see it when we go closer into the chart. So in the 4 hours, right? We're getting this contraction yesterday, right? We were around here. When we started stream, probably when we ended the stream, we were just making this candle. So as you can see, we are still contracting on the Bollinger Bands on the 4 hours, which is good, meaning volatility is leaving the market again. We could expect a movement to happen. Positive momentum starting to stagnate again. You know, I think yesterday we were still making positive momentum. We were probably around this candle, right? We kind of stagnated a little bit, but kept on pushing up. Am I too worried about this? Well, yeah, kinda. If you go to bodies, right? This high and this high are more or less the same. And then you would be going higher, right? Again, making a bearish divergence. Right, slightly higher though, very slight. So could potentially indicate price action to a downside. We are starting to get this red bar right now. Unsure if it's gonna... Oh, cool, man. Thanks for promoting the channel on Twitter, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, we are getting this bearish divergence developing. So potential price action to the downside. We are getting it right now with this candle that just started 2 hours ago. Still has 2 hours to go. And well, we are still sitting above that 20 MA, which is good. You know, we haven't touched it yet. We are about to touch it. We could reject it and then go to the upside to getting that bearish divergence. However, I believe it might actually play out because the sentiment in the market is bearish, right? So again, it's very slight. You know, this high, the opening on this candle was 8,184. And the opening on this candle was 8,159. If you want to get very technical, it is a little bit higher, right? Very little bit higher, but this is also very little bit higher. Like I said, it could potentially not play out. But again, on these technicals, $10, less than $10 is not that much. So again, you could consider them to be more or less flat. But again, it would also be congruent with us being basically range bound since yesterday at 3 p.m. That opening of the candle, right, or that closing, sorry, that high, getting us there, and then we just been around this price range for the past couple of hours, right, 24 hours or so, 28 hours by now. Anyways, sitting low on the RSI at 38, not oversold, but certainly high on that sold scale. Let's look at the 1 hour because that's gonna be where it gets a little bit more interesting, right? Anyways, on the 1 hour, are we doing something? Well, not yet. This is lower than this, right? And this is lower momentum, so we are not making any bullish divergence that would indicate price action to the upside. The only one we had was way back here, and we have not seen it play out strongly. Now, we did see this hidden bearish divergence develop that we talked about. We said price continuation. We are more or less, we dipped here a little bit, but we recovered. Not quite to the price that we were at, but if you can see the price right now, it is basically touching the bottoms of where we were back here. So I mean, it was very short-lived, and we're more or less within this channel. I think yesterday we were around here. We said we were starting to we were not that contracted on the 4 hours, sorry, in the 1 hour, right? We had this expansion going on, but we did talk about the channels or the contractions potentially being short-lived because of the sentiment in the market and this recent move to the downside that got a lot of people scared. Right now is the weekend. Usually, sometimes they are a bit slow. Most of the time, the weekends are a bit slow. You usually see price action to the downside. It's mainly bots trading or moving that money. So again, we have to wait for probably Sunday night, which is Asia's morning. So by the time China comes online, Australia, Japan, you know, we might start to see a little bit more volume movement on the price, right, as well. Right now, I think we're going to have a very chilled weekend, unless something happens, you know, someone starts to dump, and then, yeah, of course, but it could always happen, right? But from the looks of it, this would be yesterday afternoon This is 4 p.m. and you can see after 4 p.m. it's just been like very, very mellow. Not a lot going on. Anyways, starting to make positive momentum, very short-lived, starting to stagnate, potentially going to go down. Again, tightening of that channel, volatility is out, so we're not going to get a lot of things going on here on the MACD. What is going on with the RSI? Well, sitting at 52.99 puts us on that neutral zone, right? 53 right now, so 53.17. Anyways, puts us on that neutral zone, so not too much to worry about there. What things that I can see here quickly, right? Or I'm trying to gauge with my eyes. This is definitely lower than this, and the momentum is lower, so I'm not worried about developing bearish divergence. If we go to candle bodies, right, I'm going to the bodies to be a little bit more conservative. If I wanted to be a little bit more open on my gauging, I would definitely go with the candles. And if you wanted to get technical with the candles from this high, or from this high to this high, whatever you want to take the high, right? And then it would be from this high to this high. You would be going lower. You would be creating bearish divergence, price action to the downside. Again, that would include the wicks or tops, right? Because this candle has no wick on the top. If you want to go with the wicks, again, you would be making bearish divergence, price action to the downside. We're getting a small price action to the downside. Like I said, this candle almost tested that 20 MA, rejecting it a little bit. So it could be good, right, that we're rejecting that 20 MA. Could potentially see us to higher prices, a little bit higher prices. I'm not thinking we're going to go crazy, but we certainly do have to go and retest that 8,437, which would be our more immediate zone of resistance. And actually even more closer would be this downsloping channel. These dotted lines that you see is from this more major channel that we are in, right? This being the top, this being the bottom, again back here. So that would be that channel, and you know, we would expect to move somewhere. We are still below that mid part of the channel and basically following it, right? So again, moving to the downside, not much going on. Where are we on that other chart that we look at, right? We were looking at this chart, then we proposed yesterday. We talked about how some people were changing their perspectives on this being a downsloping, a triangle, and basically changing it to it being like a wedge, a falling wedge, which would be a bullish pattern, apparently potential price action to the upside. And well, this is a measure move right now where we should be hitting from breaking from this structure if this large triangle structure was valid. And you can go look at whomever you want from the previous month streams to right now. Everyone was talking about this triangle. If they're changing the tune right now for it to be a wedge, is because it just started happening. You know, now you can actually trace it, because prior to this, we did not have anything down here that we could touch, making that wedge, right? So again, people that are talking about a wedge just recently created it. It's not like they were talking about it like 2-3 weeks ago, right? They couldn't have, because there was no other point down here. So again, don't fall for BS, you know. Some people are going to claim that, oh man, I saw the wedge way back here. Yeah, right, man. Anyways, let's keep on going to Ethereum, right? Yeah, Nervos. Well, we have talked about Ethereum and how the Ethereum network is almost full. We talked about it in previous streams. You know, that is something that is a reality, something that is causing problems with the Ethereum network, sluggishness, high prices, gas prices, you know. So again, users of Ethereum will soon run into larger existential issues, which is state bloat. When Ethereum hits full capacity, it will become so slow that it will become extremely difficult for anyone to build on the network. That is because global state growth put extra demand on hard drives storing the network and slows down computations. The more it's used, the faster it dies, tweeted Samsung Mo, the chief security officer of Blockstream. Now, part of the problem is that when users occupy a piece of state on the Ethereum network, they can keep that space for as long as they want, almost entirely for free. Now, Tether, for instance, accounts for around a quarter of all activity on the Ethereum network. The other one, it's like we're going to talk about the one that covers more of that space on the next article, so I'm not going to go into that right now. Anyways, there's another way to solve the problem, which is state rent, a type of token economic model where users pay rent to store digital assets like smart contracts and records on the blockchain. Now, Vitalik Buterin, we'll call him Vitalik Buterol or some Buterin, yeah, it's a weird name, man. Vitalik Butters from South Park, Butters, first put forward the idea of rent fees in proposed update to Ethereum in 2015 on the EIP 103, whereby users would pay to store the data on the blockchain for a certain amount of time. Now, the blockchain project called Nervos thinks they've found the solution. Now, Nervos allows users to purchase CKB tokens in exchange for disk space on the base layer of protocol, or common knowledge base. Again, CKB, short for common knowledge base. As it is typical with digital infrastructure, faster applications can then be built up on this foundation, which Nervos thinks will become prime real estate. As the bottom layer fills up, the price of the CKB rises, right? Again, meaning you have to pay higher rent to have stuff stored in the Ethereum blockchain. Now, Nervos has already courted investors like Polychain, Sequoia Capital, and China Merchant Bank, who have invested 28 million in Nervos to date. That is a sizable amount, man. 28 million. I wish I had that in my bank account right now. Anyways, this is the only article we have for... no, we actually have another one. This one. Now, trading on an Ethereum-based crypto token called Fwin or Fairwin is from like a betting site. We talked about them a couple days ago. It's consuming over 50% of the gas used to set, on the Ethereum network. Gas, meaning transaction fees, processing power, up to, what you have to pay to keep the network going, right? It's a processing cost of processing transactions on the network. Anyways, according to Cointelegraph, Fairwin may not be a legitimate entity. Social media pundits are now claiming that Fairwin is a Ponzi scheme that may be one of the biggest scams ever in Ethereum. That is a bold statement. I mean, this is from this website. That's what they're stating. Fairwin reportedly controls the biggest smart contracts on Ethereum. Again, plugging most of the network, more than US Tether. The contract holds a significant amount of Ethereum. Now, a Redditor, I'm not gonna say the Redditor's name. I'll highlight it on the screen. It is kind of like a curse word in India, so I mean, I'm not gonna say it. Is this one, dude? It's like, if you don't know what it is, go type it out and you'll find out what it is. I'm not gonna say it in the stream. Anyways, that guy is claiming that Fairwin is proliferated via Chinese social media and blogs. The scheme promotes tout a 5-day high yield investment program where users deposit 1 to 15 Ethereum for a return of 0.5 to 1% after 5 days. I mean, dude, if you want to get that gain, go to Binance. Binance is doing it with their Binance lending, and I think you get like much higher returns on 24 days than you get with these guys, right? I mean, yes, certainly. So again, this looks very weird. This article, I'll keep on talking about it. Not everyone is seeing the promised returns, states this guy. He's stating that it's decentralized. However, 70% of the amount deposited actually go back to pay the commissions of the older deposits. Ponzi scheme, right? You use the newer money to pay the older investors, and then you just keep circulating until, it has to crash at some point in time. It's unsustainable. Now, he's also saying that 30% is always taken, right? That's a commission. Now, once the account is dried, all those that enter last will be punished by losing absolutely everything. Likely some of them will be reinvestors. Currently with 40,000 Ethereum, 12,000 are already for the unknown scammers. So watch out, guys. Be careful. If you're thinking about doing this, like I said, Binance is a little bit more secure. Fwin, it could potentially be a Ponzi scheme. I'm not saying it is. I really have never seen their website. I've never gone into it. But again, be careful, guys. I mean, don't fall for stuff like this. There is no such thing as get quick rich. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And remember, scammers are looking for people that want something for nothing, and they end up giving you nothing for something, and that's usually the way it goes, right? So be careful with that. Again, I'm gonna move on to the next article. Or not looking at Ethereum on the chart. What is going on with Ethereum on the daily, man? On dominance, right? Well, look at this, man. Ethereum yesterday lost some dominance, 0.39%. Right now, losing dominance still, 0.13, but sitting still at 8.89. That is pretty good. Still above that 8%. Yesterday, we were slightly above that 9%. That's good. It would have been better, but, we seem to be hitting some resistance around that area. Here you can see that we have a couple candles that were being rejected around 9. Then we dropped. Now we're hitting rejection around that 9 again, and that's fine. But we should get above 9 sometime. Anyways, what is going on with Ethereum price? Right now, losing price. Yesterday lost price. So again, today, 2 days ago, 2 hours ago, they started. So losing dominance, sitting below at 20 MA, volatility very open on the Bollinger Bands. Still within this downsloping channel, failing to break above that midline. Like I say, if I adjust the points, maybe we would be hitting it and rejecting it. But to me, this is close enough to call it a rejection of that midline. So negative price action is starting to stagnate, or second day stagnation, and sitting low on the RSI at 40.51. Again, it has been it's been a boring day today for trading, right? If you want to make money, it's probably not the day to do it. Anyways, what is going on with here on the 4 hours, man? We are sitting over the 20 MA. We actually touched it. We broke outside of this downsloping channel that we have trades, being it the flag. We didn't break back into it. We rejected it, and this happened today in the morning. Again, that is good. We touched that 20 MA, touched that upper part, and rejected it. That's good, man. That you don't want to fall back into this channel, right? Sitting above that 20 MA, still not being able to, have not touched it yet. Again, looking closer, we have not touched this flag. Here we did touch it and reject that mid part. We talked about this yesterday. It wasn't very strong, but right now this is also not very weak, right? Tried a new way to share the channel. Awesome, man. Yeah, we can. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing it, man. I appreciate it. Anyways, this is not weak, right? Touching that channel, bouncing off it, confirming it as a valid channel, breaking out of it. That will be a valid breakout after touching it and running off. And touching that 20 MA, bouncing off it again, makes it a strong case, right? Still, positive momentum starting to decrease and sitting at 47 on the RSI, which puts you on that neutral zone. Tightness on the Bollinger Bands still there. I mean, here we tighten a little bit more. Here we expanded maybe from this impulse down. But again, not too wide of a... from the top band to the bottom band, right? So volatility again tightening, which is good. Anyways, let's go on to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, man, sitting above that 20 MA, we kind of flirt with like going below it for a couple candles, but we are still like basically sitting on it, right? Not too strong to the upside, not too strong to the downside. Again, seeing indecision in the market. And like I said, even this dump, a small pump to the downside that we had, was short-lived. We kind of recovered quickly, and we are just sitting at the same prices that we were prior, right? So this high would be somewhere around this area. So right now, I'm not too worried about this, Anyways, still making negative momentum. Another bar of negative momentum developing with with more weakness, right? So again, this would be if you wanted to chart this, these are probably both the same. And if you wanted to go again, if you wanted to look a little bit, you're from the bodies, right? Because the wick, I'm not sure about that wick. So from the bodies, I do need to get rid of this 0019, 0020. It's a little bit more. So, I mean, technically, this bar is a little bit more negative momentum right now. It's still developing. So, if it's negative momentum, I mean, it would be like, it wouldn't matter if it's a little bit or a lot, but I'll just exaggerate it so you can see it clearly. It won't look as flat. It will be doing this, right? And here, we would be doing, basically, let me take this. Here, we're going like this, right? I mean, even if I take not the body, but the candle wicks, I mean, it would be the same. It would be diverging on the bottom side, making hidden bullish divergence, right? That's what we would be making right now. Again, not so much. Yeah, also on the RSI, right? Because we're making a higher low than this low, and we're going down in relative strength. Again, potential price action to the upside, but again, this tightness and the weakness that we're seeing and the bearish sentiment in the market might make this small pop to the upside very weak. So again, just keep it in mind on your trades that this is developing. If this goes farther down, this bar would definitely go farther down. And depending on where we go, we can then anchor, and then we can say whether or not we finish developing that divergence or not. If we develop it, price action to the upside potentially, because we are seeing it on 3 different scales. Actually, going to leave that there for reference, right? Just so we know we called it. Yeah, anyways, yeah, let's go on to Ripple. Dude, Ripple is starting a sort of like a cockfight with Libra. Marcus Treacher, the senior executive at Ripple, is seemingly knocking off a modern color war with the emerging rival Libra. Treacher criticized Libra for being a walled garden. He stressed out that only a handful of big players, including Facebook, Visa, MasterCard, Uber, and PayPal, practice excessive control over Libra that that gives it a right to limit access to certain services or prohibit outside players from becoming part of the Libra ecosystem. Yes, that is true. They are launching with a few companies that are backing them, and they are giving them first choice on the tokens. So again, these companies are gonna be the ones that owns it, right? XRP has to see Libra as a threat to make those comments. Yeah, they do, and I'll tell you why in a second, right? Ripple, on the other hand, is not a closed system. It connects with all the players that want to use the technology. Now, Facebook Libra is ahead of Ripple in terms of business scaling. The Libra is looking to onboard Facebook's 2 billion users on the first day it is launched, right? Look, the thing with Facebook Libra is this part that mentions the article, right? They already have the user base. So long as they launch, a lot of people are going to start buying it. You already have that captive audience. You don't have to go find it. You don't have to go look for it. And that move would instantly make Libra one of the most significant payment services, right? And probably one of the largest crypto assets also, right? And think about it. It makes sense. You want to send money to someone. You don't have to go to MoneyGram. You just grab your Facebook, go online, and send them Libra, right? They go out, they exchange it back to their currency, and they can buy whatever they want, right? And if a lot of companies, say Visa, MasterCard, whoever, dude, Uber, PayPal, you call it, whoever's playing ball with them, Amazon, I'm not sure, dude. I'm just mentioning companies, it's working with them. You can take that Libra and buy with it, right? Libra is not a stable coin. It is a basket of coins. We talked about that in another article. 50% US dollar, and they were forced to have 50% of the US dollar. They were also forced to not include the yuan, but also including, I think, British pound, Singapore dollar, and maybe euros. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we covered it in an article a couple days ago. So it won't be a stable coin because since it depends on like a couple of currencies, it's not gonna be pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar. However, that fluctuation of prices of those currencies will impact the price of Libra, right? Yeah, that's how that's gonna work. Anyways, we're gonna go look at the Libra, the XRP chart, not Libra. What is XRP looking like on the daily? Well, yesterday it lost a little bit of dominance, 0.57%. Right now, gaining it, 0.16, sitting at 4.96, unable to break that 5%, right? So, again, such a shame to see Ripple so weak right now. What is going on? So, again, on the price, what's happening? Well, we are starting to, I'm going to extend this channel. We're going to be still within it. That upsloping channel still continuing. However, this upsloping channel is starting to look more like a triangle, right? I'm not sure if we called this yesterday or not, but that upsloping channel is starting to look a little bit more like a triangle. So again, we might break out of this. If this were to be a triangle, we could break out of it from the top to the bottom. Would be a major move, probably putting us touching this bottom part of the channel or breaking up and touching this upper part of the channel. That's where I would call it because we are within the channel. So again, the height. I'll call this one the low. So again, we would be within that channel, like I said, and to the upside, we would be hitting that almost that upper part of the channel. So again, that's what would happen with this, right? With Ripple if it were to break, and if this were to be a valid triangle, right? Now this is the daily, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I believe we could certainly say it is a sizable pattern on the daily, not as sizable as the triangle from Bitcoin, right? That was like 3 months. But again, right now, sitting below 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Band, still expanded a little bit more. Starting to stagnate finally on momentum, right? That negative momentum starting to decrease. Sitting more or less flatline for the past 4 days on the RSI at 39. Again, high on that sold scale. Not oversold, oversold's down here. But below that 40 is certainly high on the sold scale, right? Or sitting sold, if you want to call it. So, again, where are we going to go next? So the 4 hours for Ripple, right? Again, we are making this channel just like we saw. Again, tightening, certainly seems to give some validity to the triangle because we are also seeing the Bollinger Bands contracting, right? If we look at Bitcoin and we do something similar, and we'll look at it really quick just for argument's sake, right? And we go look at the monthly or the weekly, right? well, the weekly might be way too off because you're starting to see that we're starting to contract, but not too much. Again, so I'm gonna look at the daily probably. See how we were very open, right? And then we started to contract a little bit more on the Bollinger Bands as we approach the area where we broke out. Well, on Ripple on the 4 hours, that is precisely what it's looking like, right? So we are within this, let's call it triangle right now, and we are starting tightening, meaning volatility is going out because we are range bound by this top part and this bottom part of the triangle. Again, if I'm gonna try to pinpoint this a little bit more. This would certainly valid 1, 2 touch points on the top, and then on the bottom we here had a fake breakout, but we could go here maybe and touch those 2 points, and we could have this sort of like triangle going on, right? Again, sitting low on the RSI at 43.62 and starting to stagnate on that positive momentum. Let's go on to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, again, more contraction happening on the Bollinger Bands. Certainly hitting this upper part of the mid part of the channel right as resistance, failing to actually touch it, but tightening a little bit more as we trade into this channel. What is going on with here? We were starting to make negative momentum, right? But look at this, man. This is lower than this. Again, nothing bullish on the bottom part. And this is higher than this. So again, nothing bearish on the top part, right? We are just floating within the structure. Again, waiting for a breakout. Probably waiting on signals from someone else because this is definitely lower than this. Again, nothing happening on the RSI. And this is higher than this and nothing would be happening on the top part. So again, Ripple is probably just waiting for signals from the other players. Today, we actually have a news from Litecoin, man. And, I'm actually excited because we have not seen anything for Litecoin in a while. It was getting really boring to do Litecoin. But again, former U.S. Congressman and 3-time presidential candidate Ron Paul will be headlining the Litecoin 2019 summit at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. Now, joining him on stage will be Litecoin creator Charlie Lee, as well as Morgan Creek Digital co-founder and Bitcoin bullish outlooker Anthony Pompliano, right? So the pump is going to be there. Now, Paul previously voiced his enthusiastic support for crypto, stating that he's all for cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology because he likes competing currencies. He's in for competition, and basically he says we'll have to see what the market decides. That's what he told CNBC in July. Now, in his book, End the Fed, Paul explains the case for terminating the country's central bank because it is immoral, unconstitutional, impractical, promotes bad economics, and undermines liberty. Now, during his speech on the House floor, Paul explained how the central bank system destroys economic productivity, from the Great Depression to the stagflation of the 70s to the current economic crisis caused by the housing bubble. Every economic downturn suffered by this country over the past century can be traced to the Federal Reserve policy. Again, the Fed is in freedom to do as they please. We saw it a couple weeks ago. They were putting money into, to solve the overnight lending market. I think it was like in order of 120 billion. I think I can't remember how much. It was on 2 days that they were putting money in to kind of like save it and keep it afloat. Again, not very good when the Fed has to step in, right? Especially when they're printing more money to get stuff afloat. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the Ripple article. Sorry, the Litecoin article. Let's look at Litecoin dominance chart right now. What is going on with Litecoin on the daily? Right now, making negative dominance, losing a little bit of dominance, right? So 1.13% down. Right now, still going down, so 0.27. Sitting at 1.66 is very low, like we said. It's very small part of the market, right? 7 people tuned in. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Again, if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. On Litecoin, what is happening? Well, on the price, man, still making negative price action. We have kind of broken out of this, what we called once a bull flag. We can certainly try to trace something different again now that we have a little bit more of a pattern developing, giving it probably a little bit more validity. Again, momentum starting to stagnate, decrease, and sitting low on the RSI 29. Again, hitting on that oversold, right? So lots of room to run to the upside. However, we are not developing anything on the divergence, right? So not much going on there. Again, if you wanted to ignore this islands, right, on the daily, and I wouldn't suggest it because it's too large of a pattern, but if you wanted to ignore them, well, from here to here, you would be going lower, and from here to here, you would actually be going also less negative momentum, which would be a bullish, bullish divergence, which potentially could bring you to price to the upside. Again, it is too large of a pattern, too large of a time frame. So I wouldn't call it a valid one. Anyway, sitting below at 20 MA, volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Let's go look at a more micro scale. What's going on in the 4 hours? Well, same thing that everyone else is doing, right? Going into this kind of micro. I'm not liking this channel. We broke out of it. Not very bullish. Again, the sentiment in the market does not allow for bullish movements right now. Everyone's kind of like worried about that dump that Bitcoin had and things that are going on. Well, this is certainly higher than this. Again, this is higher than this. So nothing on the bearish side on the top part. Maybe on the RSI, right? And slightly from here to here, you'll be going down. And from that place to that place, you'll be going a little bit up. So again, very slight hidden bearish divergence developing. Yeah, let's go into a more micro scale. The 1 hour. In the 1 hour, I'm gonna try to trace something here, right? I could try to certainly do it here, and it would probably be better. I'm gonna ignore things that are back here, and we could go from here to here, and then from here to here, maybe. I mean, I'm not liking this one that much. It would certainly put us at a point where we have to break out right now, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Trying to figure out what we can trace. We could go here, which would be like a down sloping broadening wedge. Again, potentially not looking that good right now, right? So we might just be making a sort of like, if we ignore that long wick, I would probably put it more on a slight down sloping channel, right? More or less moving sideways, and it would certainly seem to make sense. We are seeing some resistance around that midline, using it as support up here and using it as resistance again. It does make sense that we're just moving sideways again. Let's go into the what else? Let's go into the 1 hour, right? Again, guys, if you are watching, say hi on the chat. We don't bite. We're actually very friendly. You have a feeling not that it will go up in price? So you have a feeling that it's not gonna go up in price, I guess. I'm not sure, man. Let's look at the 1 hour, right? Look, we are starting to get those very like weird lines where that's sometimes the reason that I don't want to have the MACD line and signal line on the graph, because right now I really have to zoom in to try to figure out what's going on with the momentum, because these lines are just giving me a lot of noise right here. So again, that's one of the reasons I don't like to have them. Right. Anyway, same thing we saw, right? A small dip and then kind of like bounce off. So you have, yeah. I've seen that coming. So yeah, what is going on the top, right? Well, higher, lower, lower again, going with the market, lower, going with the market. So nothing on the bearish side. But also nothing on the bullish side, right? This is higher than this. We're definitely making less negative momentum. Again, we are going with the market, probably waiting on Bitcoin to do something and just moving sideways. And I'm not sure how long we're going to be moving sideways for, right? Sideways movements sometimes can take a long time. But again, that tightness on the Bollinger Bands will make us explode. And if we explode, again, stuff that can happen quickly, right? We are sitting above that, below that 20 MA right now. So again, we can come up, touch that 20 MA. Then touch this mid part of the channel, and then if we break it, we can certainly start to look for higher areas, right? Even to the sub part of the channel. But right now, looking very, very chill, like calm. We're probably not gonna be doing much right now, unless Bitcoin decides to do something, right? Anyways, let's go on to Binance. Impressive or just meh? Binance US first week performance by the numbers. Now, I like this article. Last time we talked about an article like this, did not have hard data, and I don't like it when articles don't have hard data. Now, in its first 24 hours of operation, Binance US trading volume peaked at more than 6.4 million. Since then, like the trading has tapered off a little bit, with volumes ranging about around 1.2 to 1.9 million. But again, that's a lot of money going in, right? Off the bat, 6.4 the first day. First 24 hours, right? That's a lot of money. Now, Binance US managed to become the 78th largest crypto exchange in trading volume in just 48 hours, sorry. And right now, it's currently at 112 largest crypto exchange. I mean, but again, if we look at how many exchanges are out there, we talked about them in another article, right? Just counting the US, Australia, UK, and the ones that have not been nominated to a country, we were sitting at around something like 120 exchanges, so it's already in the top 120, right? And there are many, many more, right, within all the rest of the countries, right? So again, not that bad for the first week of Binance being live, right? Binance US being live. Anyways, let's go and look at Binance and see what's going on. Hi, 7 people tuning in. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, what is going on with Binance on the daily? Because we're looking at the 1 hour. Yesterday, gained a little bit of dominance, right? And right now, gaining dominance 0.59, sitting at 1.17. It's too low of a dominance for being the fifth or sixth largest coin. The dominance that it has is very little, man, and that is just annoying. Meaning, what I want to look at something that I haven't done, man. What's the most that this coin has dominated ever, man? 2%. That's as high as the fifth largest coin has ever gotten. Fifth or sixth right now. I can't remember where it's sitting at. But anyways, it is very little, man. The most it's done, it's that, right? You love to know the true states on Korean exchanges. They are gamblers. Yeah, but they're having problems though. The true stats. Okay, yeah, they're having problems though. We did an article a couple weeks ago, stating that Koreans or South Korean exchanges were having trouble, right? They were not seeing the volume traded needed to keep them afloat. And we stated that it was because there are so many exchanges that maybe the smaller ones are not seeing the volume they need because they are getting too diluted, right? Uh, Again, just the big ones are the ones that are going to survive because they do have the trading volumes, even if they're low, to actually keep up with their operating expenses. And the smaller ones, look, imagine you have an exchange, you have like 1,000 people, but no one trades. And you have to do upkeep maintenance, keep people on payroll, right? People to check the data and, keep the website up and running, hosting, etc. So again, if you're not bringing in more people to the exchange and to start trading, and you're just sitting with the money there, the exchange is going to start to do poorly, and you're going to have to close it at some point in time. So again, it's much better to have a small exchange, but with actual trading volume, than a large exchange with no trading volume, right? So again, the larger ones, the possibilities that more people are sitting there doing nothing are less because there is more fluctuation in price, meaning more volume is being traded. But the smaller ones are seeing that stagnation, right? And again, like I said, you don't want to go into an exchange where you know you're going to have a hard time canceling your position, right? It's no point having 1,000 Bitcoin if your exchange only has 3 people, and when you want to sell, no one wants to buy. So again, you want to have your money in an exchange that has a lot of flow, a lot of people in it. So when you want to get out of your position, there's enough people that are probably going to be willing to buy at that level to where you can get out of your position safely, right? So again, let's keep on doing Binance real quick. Binance, like I said, gaining dominance sitting at 1.17. Very little. The most it's sat at was 2%. That is very sad for Binance. Right now, what is going on? Well, Binance making a kind of indecision day yesterday, right? Not going up, but not going down, just like a kind of like a spinning top doji. Right now, more or less doing the same, right? Like Binance doesn't know where it wants to go. We're seeing it across the market. Lots of indecision going on right now. Starting to stagnate on negative momentum again. Second day of actually decreasing negative momentum, but sitting still at oversold on the RSI at 25. Sorry guys, I do like to keep my chart over here to keep a lot of the older data out of sight when I'm not looking at it. But I will try to like shift it a little bit so you guys have a better view. Anyways. Yeah, like I said, man, not looking very good. Volatility open on the 20 MA, sitting below that 20 MA. It has been a while since we have been above that 20 MA. If we want to get technical, last time we were above it was probably August 13th. So again, a long time just sitting below that 20 MA, not able to get above it, right? Let's look at something, man. Are we doing something here? No, we're not, right? Here we had some kind of bullish divergence, played out to that small pump. Right now, we dropped a little bit more. We could, if you want to ignore this small island that we had here. And again, from here to here, you will be going lower. From here to here, you would definitely be going lower. Oh, man, where's that line? From here to here, you would definitely be going lower. Again, converging lines on the bottom side of price and oscillators makes it bullish. So again, strong bullish divergence developing. Not so much on the RSI, because on the RSI, we're actually making less relative strength, right? Lower levels of relative strength. So again, just having that on the MACD histogram, because even on the MACD line, which will be this blue line over here, we'll actually be going with the market and we'll be making a lower level on the MACD line. So again, just on the histogram, right? So keep it in mind that it might, even though it's showing it could potentially not play out, we are seeing some stagnation happening. And we talked about this the other day, and we traced it a couple days ago, right? And we said that the market sentiment is bearish. So again, we're not seeing that bullish impulse to the upside that we would like to see. Again, just keep it in mind as you set up your trades. Let's go look at the 4-hour. 8 people tuned in. Thank you for watching. Again, guys, if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Starting to stagnate on positive momentum right now. Starting to have contraction on the Bollinger Bands. Same thing that we're seeing with everyone else. It just looks like a snapshot of the other coins, right? It all looks very similar right now across the market. On the 4 hours, everyone's starting to tighten on that Bollinger Band. Again, losing volatility, which could prop a violent price move, right? When we lose volatility on the Bollinger Bands, we have those explosive moves. Right now, what is going on? We are sitting at 42.5 on the RSI. Puts us low, but it's still within that neutral zone, right? 60 to 40 being that neutral zone. Again, like today, people tune in, guys. If you want to say hi, that's fine. And if you have any questions, we are happy to chat, right? Anyways, I'm gonna shift this a little bit. We're still getting good content points. We are still within this down sloping channel, right? Again, not much going on there. Let's go into the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, contraction of the Bollinger Bands happening as well. Where were we yesterday? We were probably around here. So we were having this volatility open. So again, we had that small dump, that reverse that everyone saw. Very small, very little. What's going on up here, right? I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit more. Try to figure out if we're doing something. Low, lower, low, higher. Yeah, no, not really. Nothing going on here. Right now, look, we get these small lines of nothingness, dude, that are just indecision in the market, right? A lot of we don't know where we want to go with the momentum, right? It's just like we're sitting here, we're stagnating, man. We have been sitting around these levels, except for the small dip that we had since yesterday at 4 p.m. Like I said, everyone's doing the same. So since yesterday in the afternoon to right now, it just started to move very slowly, right? Not a lot of action going on, and probably because a lot of people are waiting for Bitcoin to do something, right? Either dump the next or recover a little bit more. But, that's what's going on. Sitting at 56 on the RSI, within that neutral zone still. But nothing too crazy, right? Let me change the track. Anyways, I'm trying to figure out if we're doing something on the top part. Potentially, right? No, not really, because this is actually lower than this. So again, if anything, we would be just being congruent with the market. On the bottom side, the same thing going on. Higher, lower, low to high. I mean, we could... If you want to get a little bit off the chart with this, you would call this 0, right? Even though you're making positive, and you would go here to this low, right? So from 0 to that low, which would put you from here to here, right? Again, the lines diverging on the bottom would be hidden bullish divergence, which would mean price continuation, and that's probably what we're seeing here, right? We are still stagnating, still above that 20 MA right now. Channeling right within the Bollinger Bands, but moving in an upward sentiment still, right? Slowly but upward, right? Any pattern to the volume I'm observing in general? Not really, man. Look, save for this day, it had kind of been dead for a while, right? Look at the volume, man. We just when we have spikes, we see the volume, and every day is just kind of dead. So this would look like any other day, right? Look at this. Go farther back, man. It's actually at around average, right? Look at the different touch points that we get. Let me see if I can put a line here. That's not the one I wanted to do. Sorry about that. Right there, right? Look, how many times we go and touch it on the prior days, right? So this will be volume on the 1 hour, right? I'm gonna go on the daily. We might get a better look at this because it's better to look at volume on the daily. So we know how much volume has been traded. Look at this. Even though we had that spike to the downside, right? Look at where we are on volume traded, dude. So I'm gonna tap it here, which is where we are at right now for this day. So if you want to see this, it just moves it because it's not actually linked to the volume. But right now, look at this, man. So you are at the same volume traded that you were back here on the barren lands before the nice pumps to the upside started to happen. Even though we have seen dips, look, with this large movement to the downside, look at where volume was, man. It was still lower than when we had this small pump to the upside, right? So again, I'm not looking at anything on the volume. What I can tell you is that it's still decreasing if you want to look at it somehow. If I were to call something like maybe from here to here, right? You would be going like this, right? You are making less volume. If you want to ignore this larger candle and you want to go like this, you will still be making less volume every day, right? So volume would still be decreasing somewhat. And this could just be like an outlier happening. Yeah, low volume does tend to make a move again. A stagnation. Right now, Bollinger Bands are open, so volatility is certainly friend to price movements. Again, tightness of volatility means that there is less price fluctuation happening, and we can expect an explosive move. Right now on the daily, we are wide open. Again, we could still see those explosive moves, right? Volume. Yeah, you can look at volume. That's fine on the moving average. That's fine. Whatever the thing with day trading in general, or anything that you do with technical analysis, is that you do whatever works for you, right? So again, if you like to use divergence as an indicator as to where the price is going to go, use the Bollinger Bands to look for that volatility leaving the market and waiting for those explosive movements, charting patterns, looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, seeing where you are in relative strength and momentum and things like that. Everyone does what works for them, right? Fibs work for some people. Some other people don't like them, right? Some people like these radials, like these fib circles or spirals, right? I don't like them, right? Some people like to use the pitchforks. I don't like them. Some people like to do these ciphers, right? A, B, C, D, X patterns, or X, A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D, whatever. I used them before. Yeah, they're fine. I use them sometimes. They are all based on fibs, right? Like from here to here, you would fib, and then down you would do another fib. From here to here, and then from here to here would be another fib, and then you would get a target, right? That's how this would work for ciphers, right? Or yeah, harmonics, or whatever you want to call these things. Anyways, and other people like to use this tool over here that gives you, like, if you were to like trade, right, and you put this somewhere, I don't like this one too much, but it tells you like what your stop loss would be, depending on where you set it, where you get in, right, and you can move this around, and like your profit, right, your target profit taken, right. I don't like to use this one very much. Again, people do what works for them, right. Bar patterns. I'm not sure what this one does. What is it? I'm not sure what this does, man. Bar patterns. Maybe so I can segment. It looks like it's just a copy of the bottom part. So just give me a segment that I can probably move around and play with it. I mean, some people might find that useful, right? To determine patterns without all this chop, or bringing patterns from the old to the new, to like kind of look at them right now and see if they're more or less similar. Again, dude, it's just whatever works for you, right? Some people might not like what I do, and that's fine, because they have found some other things that work better for them. But again, like I said, dude, right now we have not disconfirmed this as a local low, and until we do it, this bar will still get adjusted on the fibs so we can get our actual retraces. This is the actual top, and I'm gonna leave that there. So from top to bottom, you would expect to start retracing to these levels, right? However, we have not dropped to where we talked about, right? And not on this one, I haven't done it, but on Bitcoin, which is where I'm more worried, right? Hitting or measure move, right? That's what worries me. We have not hit it. We have not even hit half of it. But again, that's fine. We have certain areas of support right now. We should be heading for that 618, which would be around 7,225. It is possible. And don't worry, even on the way down there, we are going to have areas of support, right? We have the 8,000. We're already below this one. So we have like 7,500. We have that. We are below that 8,000 right now, right? No, we're not. 8,150. So we are sitting above the 8,000. We have that 8,000 area, which is psychological support. We have not, even though we dropped below it, we have rebounded. So again, things could potentially, we could move around this area for a while. Psychological supports, I don't trace them. There are at round numbers, so 8,000, 8,500, 9,000, 10,000. Usually you get psychological support or resistance at those areas. Right now will be support, because we're actually believing that we're going to keep on going to the downside. Again, next target would be 7,531. In this other chart, we can see that we are still within that, this being an equidistant channel, right? 0, 25, 50, 75, 100%. We are within that 25 and 50% quartile of the channels. Again, not too worried about that. We have not touched this 50% of the channel. However, it's a downsloping channel, so the more it takes for us to touch it, we're gonna hit it here. And guess what? We touched this resistance, dude. I had not looked at this today yet, but we were going down. We touched that 50% of that channel, and we rejected it. again, we were struggling to see why we're failing from here, right? It was the mid part of the channel. We said we touched this mid part of the channel would simulate, which would simulate this downsloping channel, right? This going on here. It's just here in a little bit different scale, right? So I could have this a little bit clear for everyone to see. Anyways, hey people, tune in. If you like what we do, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Again, we're here every night for you guys. And if you have any questions, we have finished what we usually do, which is the news for every major coin, then the analysis for every major coin. Now we can look at any other coin that you guys want. I know, Benny, you are into Stellar, so I'm going to jump into Stellar real quick. Yeah, do you guys like, before I do that, do you guys like the format that we're doing? You know, hey, someone subbed. Thanks, man. Yeah, thank you, William James, for subscribing, and thank you for watching. Yeah, so again, if you like, I'm not sure if you guys like the pattern that we're following, where we do news and charts. If you like that, that is fine. Let me know. And if you don't like it, also let me know. That way I can try and change the format, right? We could do the news first and cover the whole news segment, and then jump into the charts and just do charts. I kind of picked this pattern for the stream because I believed it'd make a little bit more sense to actually look at the news and then the actual chart. That way, if we notice news that we're bullish or bearish, we could see how they are affecting the price, right? But if you guys don't like that and you want to get my thoughts on XRP, yeah, we already covered it. Yeah, sure, man. I'll go back to XRP real quick. Give me a second. This XRP on the daily, right? We are within this upsloping channel. We like XRP in this channel, by the way. We like all cryptos, and I've stated before, most of my portfolio is XRP heavy for cryptos. I do like it a lot, but I do try to be as neutral as possible when I do this. So point to the upside, point to the downside, and then you guys choose, you know, how that goes with your feelings, right? Anyways, I like this better when I was doing it here. It does certainly give it a little bit more body to the triangle, right? Making it symmetrical. Again, we could break to the upside or downside of this symmetrical triangle. However, this is what we got when we were doing touch points on the more micro scale. So I'm going to leave this triangle here. It'll be kind of like a symmetrical, but not quite an upsloping triangle. XRP is within this upsloping flag, which would be a bear flag after this impulse down, which would potentially mean price action to the downside. But XRP is waiting on Bitcoin to do something, right? XRP had this bullish sign here, right? Bullish divergence happening on the MACD histogram, on the MACD line. Not so much on the RSI, but at least we had it. Then from here to here, we had it again, right? To here, we had it again. And we saw that pump to the upside, which was nice, along with everyone else. And then after that, Bitcoin tanked, and it just brought everyone down with it. So again, being 100% honest with you, I'm going to tell you what I see on XRP. But just remember that if Bitcoin dumps, it's not going to matter how bullish the pattern is. Everyone else is going to dump with it because all the money is going to start leaving the crypto sphere, right? So just do keep that in mind as you set up your trades. What is going on with this coin, right? Things that could be argued, more or less. If you go from week to week, this is actually lower, so it wouldn't apply. You're making less negative momentum, so you're not making any bearish divergence that would indicate price action to the upside, right? This will be on this micro, on this one daily, right? Because we don't have any negative islands here, so we have to go to our prior negative island. So we'll be here. This is not as low as we are here in price. So again, if I were to go from here to here, it will be like a downsloping line, and from here to here it will also be downsloping. So again, we will be congruent, right? So no bearish, no bullish divergence developing on the RSI. Now, are we developing some on the on the MACD? Are we developing some on the RSI? Going down and going up. Yes, we are. We could be developing bullish divergence on the RSI, which would potentially bring price action to the upside. Again, probably why we saw this bounce. We talked about it on Binance. You know, we had it. Again, not as strong as we want it because the sentiment in the market overall, not just at Ripple, right? The overall market sentiment is bearish. So again, a lot of people are going to be a little bit more careful because of this small dump that everyone saw. The thing I don't like about XRP right now is that we are failing to get above that 25-cent mark, right? And 25 cents being a good area of support that has held on prices for a while. Right now, we are floating in this free zone where we could potentially go down all the way to like 20 cents, right? That's the only thing I don't like, right? But overall, look, even way back here, right, on the daily, we were within this 25-cent range. Prior to that, last time we were there, it was probably way back here, man. Right? Even back here, we were below that 25-cent range, right? We were floating in this nowhere area, right? So this nowhere area brings us to where we can start going down and hit that 20-odd cent mark, right? 20-cent mark. You've been thinking about starting a long in XRP? You need to buy in crypto. Okay, cool. Yeah, man, no worries. We're crypto friendly here, and if you don't know what's going on, we can certainly try to like let you know what's going on, right? Anyways, the market, like I said, right now, man, I mean, what you can do is scale in and scale out of positions. That means buy a little, and then as it develops or drops, you know, you can start moving in or out, right? You don't have to go in all at once. It is a strategy to like scale in and scale out. And what you would do is you would set up targets, right? I'll do this here with a like a brush. I have open area here. So let's say you get in at this price, right? And you know, your price is here, right? So you're here. Or going down, right? You're here, and then you're here, right? And you start going up, and you start going up, you start going up, like that. Yeah, right. What you would do is you would certainly set up buy zones where you would take, you would buy, right? You wouldn't buy at the high, you would buy at the low, that dip, right? No, I did it on the scale out. Sorry. You would get in at these areas, right? Like here, here. And here, right? You after you impulse up, you wait for some sort of retrace to happen to add a little bit more to your position, then ride it on the way up. Again, after that small dip happens, buy a little bit more, and you would keep on rising your stop loss, right? So that by the time if this was to take a turn for the worst, and you just dropped, and you had your stop loss somewhere around this area, what can I draw here that would be different, man? I'll put an ellipse here for the stop loss. If you had a stop loss here, right, and you were to go down, that's where you would get out of your position, right? Again, that would help you a little bit more with your trading strategy, I hope. Don't go in all at once. Scaling in is usually better. And then if you're scaling in, right, and price were to drop, you're not 100% in, so you could, again, maybe take that whatever little is going to drop, right? You're not putting all your eggs in the basket at the same time, so they're not all going to crack. And then as it keeps on dropping, adding it, you will be averaging down, right? So your average loss would be less. And then any pump to the upside would certainly make you break even. That is another strategy, right? It would seem counterintuitive to be buying as the price goes down. But imagine that you are going down in price, right? Something like this, right? And you buy like here, maybe. It's not, I don't want to do that one. This one. You buy here because you think it's gonna go up, and then it goes down again. So you buy here, and then you buy here, right? So again, even if it goes down, and this is a little bit riskier, right? You're adding to your position when the market is telling you you should probably not do it. Anyways, what this does is that if you buy 100 here, 100 here, and 100 here, you probably have an average of price that it would be somewhere in the middle, right? So somewhere around this area. So any pump of the price to the upside, anywhere in this area, would negate this loss because you would be breaking even already. So adding on the way down, it is a strategy. I usually don't like it very much, but it is a strategy nonetheless. And that is something that could happen if you were planning to get in here, right? Because right now we are seeing indecision. Look at the wicks, man. Look at the bodies and look at the wicks, right? The market doesn't know what it wants to do. You have the okay, so we had the impulse down, that is clear. We kind of reversed a little bit, but then the next day we kind of killed it, right? And then we are seeing it around the mid part of that candle. But look at this, the next day right after, right? We had that bearish impulse, fight back, you know, bulls came back, take control, close here. But the next day, you know, I'm not sure what happened at what part of the day, but I'll tell you what I can see here on this candle, right? At some point in time, the bulls brought the price up, the bears pushed back down, even all the way down here, but the bulls kind of recovered, right? It could have happened the other way around. The bears could have come in, push it down, the bulls recovered all the way up to here, and then the bears bring it back down. But again, indecision, spinning top. Again, another spinning top. Right now, we are going a little bit down, but this is just 2 hours in, right? This is tomorrow, right? The market closes at like 0 hours, or new day starts at 0 hours UTC, which if you're in the eastern zone, which would be -4. If you're in the central area, which is where we're at, it would be -5, right? So again, indecision going on. So again, if you were to go in here, set up a stop loss, maybe, I don't know, 10% below, 11% below, so that also you don't get stopped out, because sometimes, right, what happens is that you would drop down, get some impulse, and then like kind of like push to the upside, right? And that could happen. I'm not saying it's too common. It's 100% that could happen, right? You could also drop down, but if you set up your stop loss 10% below where you are in price, that would be like almost at 22 cents, almost 21 cents. So anyways, around 21 cents, you could potentially place your stop loss, which would be somewhere around this line that actually here, right? So if the price was to drop, you would sell your position. You only lost 10% of whatever you put in. However, if you want to keep on adding to your position as you go down, you wouldn't sell. But this would help you with that, right? So if you were to take a drop and you don't want to get out yet, that's fine. You can even take a drop down to here, and then you can actually start running into the upside again, right? And then see what you want to do. Again, don't go too heavy in right now, because the market is probably not the best to go in heavy after this impulse down. Look, the trend overall since June has been to the downside, right? On all coins, not just Bitcoin, right? Not just Ripple, sorry. Bitcoin has also been doing the same. Look, to the downside, right? Still within this channel that is downsloping, right? Ethereum, it looks the same. So do I believe Ripple has potential? Yeah, it has potential to go to the upside, just like everyone else. But Bitcoin wants to have to play ball. If Bitcoin tanks, it's going to bring Ripple down with it. So just keep that in mind as you set up your trades. Like I said, we had potential here to make price action to the upside. It was very weak, man. It was not very strong. We called it out, actually. I think the stream before, we said, look, man, we are developing this. We might get some price action to the upside. We did get it. It was very weak. We talked about the market sentiment. We have been talking about it for the past 5 days, saying, dude, everyone's looking bearish at this. Not a lot of people are taking like long positions. Some people might be taking long positions, right? But again, scale in. That is the smart thing to do when the market could potentially point to the downside. And this indecision says, we don't know where we want to go, man. We don't know if we want to go to the upside or the downside. We are fighting for control of this area right now, right? So no one is actually gaining or losing. It's just flat line moving. Bitcoin almost the same, right? Impulse down, another impulse down, kind of negating it, but right now going back again. So again, more or less starting to get into that what's going to happen zone, right? Like we are fighting it out. So yeah, just be smart when you get in or out, right? Set up stop losses. Like if you don't have a trading strategy, and that's something that I would tell you, is figure out what your trading strategy is going to be, right? That includes how you're going to get in, at what levels you're going to add to your position, at what levels you're going to start taking profits, what levels are you going to set for stop losses. And when you do get that, make that call that you wrote down on your journal, diary, whatever your trading strategy is, and stick with it, right? And don't look at the market again. So if you were to take a long and you said, I'm going to get out whenever Bitcoin hits 11,000, right? As soon as it hits 11,000, you get out, right? That's called discipline, and you have to have it if you want to be a successful trader. If it keeps on going up and you miss out, you did what you had to do. You got out when you said you were going to get out, right? However, you can also look at other variables that are developing and said, maybe I'm going to move my my take profit level because I am seeing that it's going bullish, and I'm seeing bullish divergence developing, which would mean more price action to the upside. So I want to raise it maybe to 12,000 or 13,000, right? And that's how you would play it out. Now, if you see that you get close to 13,000, but you don't quite hit it, and you start seeing those bearish signs develop, that would mean price action to the downside. Then you take your profit at that level, right? Or you set up your stop loss and let your stop loss get you out of that position, right? So again, like I said, stop loss usually we do see 10% moves on this market sometimes. Sometimes we even do see 15% moves, a little bit rarer, but they do happen. So again, like I said, just set up your stop loss whenever you feel that it's comfortable for you to get out of the position that you have taken, right? So yeah, that's what I would tell you to do. Ripple, I do believe it has potential to go to the upside again. I do like the project. I do like them long term. However, it's going to depend on... Look, Ripple, man, I'll show you this because you probably weren't here for this part of the stream. It's sitting at 4.9% of market dominance. That means of the whole crypto market, Ripple is only less than 5%. Let's call it 5% just to round up numbers, right? Ethereum is 9%, right? 8.86. And Bitcoin is 70%. So whatever Bitcoin does is going to have ripples across the whole market. Everyone's going to feel it. Everyone's going to be in it. You know, if it starts to tank, everyone's just going to start tanking with it, right? So there will be some projects that might resist a little bit better, you know, or some of those micro coins that are not very liquid that might hold on a little bit to that price. But, you know, again, you do have to consider that even Ripple is a good project, is not very strong in market cap or market dominance, right? So it's gonna follow whatever the big players do, and there's only one big player, and that's Bitcoin. After that, you would go to Ethereum, and then after that, Ripple. Anyways, I'm gonna do seller real quick for Benny because he was waiting for that. Where do I have seller, man? Oh, here it is, seller. Seller on the daily, right? We had this upsloping channel that we talked about. We kind of are moving sideways. So again, hit that upper part of the structure. Probably broke out of it, like we said we would do, right? And we're outside of it right now, but we're not seeing that impulse up too strong, right? Sitting below 20 MA, starting to stagnate on that negative momentum, and sitting low on the RSI at 30. So again, lots of room to run to the upside. Where are we on the 4 hours, right? On the 4 hours, we are sitting a little bit above that 20 MA outside of the channel. Like I said, we broke out of it on the past 4 hour channel. Still making positive momentum, sitting at 43 on the RSI, which again puts us on that neutral zone. Nothing that I can see here, right? Well, yeah, potentially, right? It's very slight, man, but this is technically slightly higher than that. So you would go here, and then you would go here, which would be a little bit higher. You would be making hidden bearish divergence, which would mean price continuation. So again, potential stagnation still, or a little bit to the downside, right? Anyways, let's go on to the 1 hour. Wow, on the 1 hour, here we go. Definitely seeing some price action right now, sitting at 0.004. That negative momentum about to get killed off with this candle, right? About to get across off the MACD over the signal line. When we get those crosses, we do get bars that happen, right? Either nice green bars or bad, yeah, nice green bars or red bars, depending on where the crossing happens to. Now, sitting at 56.52 on the RSI, that being pretty good for the coins, right? Yeah. So on that neutral zone still. Pumping to the upside again. Not even though it looks violent movement, it is not, right, compared to the rest of the market and how this looks zoomed in. It's very tiny. So look at it, right? Anyways, are we doing something? Well, low, lower, low, more negative momentum developing. So again, is it more 0.0001, 0.0001? This would technically be a flat line on the oscillator. Right, is this a little less now? 0.001, yeah. I think it'll be a flat line, right? And then you would be going like a little bit lower, right? Something like that. So you would be making bullish divergence, right? Like weak bullish divergence, price action to the upside. You kind of got it here, but got negated, right? Because of that bearish sentiment in the market, right? And the indecision that's going on. So you got to push back, and right now you're trying to go up again. But, you know, it looks like you're struggling at that. You're getting some pullback from whatever level this is for 0.444, right? 0.004444. That's it, man. That's it for this coin, dude. It's not, like I said, it's hard to chart when it is very choppy. The moves are like that, very sharp. And you don't, like, look at this, man. The line is not separated at all. Look at this. Negative momentum and positive momentum are just, like, flatlining, right? And that contraction on the Bollinger Band's happening. So again, we could expect a possible explosive movement if Bitcoin keeps on stagnating. Some of these coins might start to like actually move freely. But again, I do believe that the sentiment overall is going to keep a lot of people conservative on all the coins, right? That's where I believe we'll be at for the general crypto market. Yeah, so what else, man? You guys want to look at another project? We can go look at another project. So just let me know, right? Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out something down here real quick. So we are sitting at 93 subs. That is pretty good. Thank you guys for being here again. Thank you guys for tuning in on Saturday night, right? I do know that a lot of you probably want to go out and have fun. Bitcoin Cash, ABC. You're saying Bitcoin Cash to which one, dude? BCH. ABC. All right. I usually don't like things paired to. Oh, okay, this is not Bitcoin Cash, bro. Yeah, it is Bitcoin Cash. Dude, that's weird. Yeah, I'll look at it. Do you want to look at it Tether or something else? Okay, yeah, Bitcoin Cash USD. All right, cool. I'll look at it on Coinbase. I'm not sure how much volume it has on that exchange. Bitcoin Cash not looking that bad, dude. It's looking like it actually made some nice price action to the upside. Let's go to the daily first. Okay, so you had that dip. We're having that curve, right? Positive day, and right now negative day on price. That positive momentum starting to stagnate and sitting low on the RSI at 27. So again, lots of room to run to the upside, right, on Bitcoin Cash. That's good. Let's go look at it on a more micro scale, because from here to here, you know, we're definitely going lower. So obviously we're not making anything on the oscillators on the daily yet. We have to wait for a pattern to develop around here so that we can start seeing more things happening over here on the MACD. So let's go to 4 hours. That contraction happening just like everyone else, but we here have some nice movement to the upside. Again, making positive momentum, starting to stagnate right now. Am I worried about this? No, this is lower, this is higher, and more positive momentum. That is good. Again, low relative strength, higher relative strength. You're going with the market, so nothing developing here that would seem scary at all. Again, the only thing that would potentially not be very good is that from here to here, you would definitely be going lower, and from here to here, you would be going higher, making hidden bullish divergence, meaning price continuation. That's about it. Sitting above that 20 MA, and I'll try to chart something here. And we're sitting at 42 on the RSI, again on that neutral zone, right? So from here to here, either we could do either a downsloping channel, not a downsloping channel, an upsloping triangle, sorry, because this is more or less like a flat line, right, on the top, or we could do a what do we call this? A sideways moving channel, right? There's nothing else going on. So it would look something like this, right? It would be very slight incline to the downside, potentially even stagnation, right? So again, we could be here and it will be valid, right? We're having some support around that midline, coming down, touching the bottom, having some resistance on that mid part again, and then using it as support as we are still within this upper part. This could be a larger structure, right? That channel that we could be flagging around, or this triangle, you know, we could make another high and start to turn this into like an upsloping wedge. Right now, this pattern is too small. But again, this will be confirmed if we go down and touch this upper part of the triangle. This is lower part of the triangle, this resistance. Sorry, not resistance, support. We touch this support, we go down, touch it, and then bounce off it, right? And then probably hit this resistance above, that overhead resistance. However, we have touched it once, two, almost 3 times on the bottom, at least 2 times on the top. So again, let's wait for another bounce for it to be confirmed. You need at least 3 and 2, right? On either side. So that will be it on the 4 hour. Let's go into the 1 hour. Sitting above that 20 MA, volatility slightly open on the Bollinger Bands. I mean, more open than here for sure, but making negative momentum and sitting in neutral on the RSI at 56. Again, let's see what we are doing, right? Bearish divergence developing, right? So this is higher than here, so you'll be going down on that scale, right? Like this. and diverging on the top part. Do I think Bitcoin will fall more? Hovering around 8,100 all day. Some say bull, some say bear. Well, bro, that is the indecision. I'll definitely get back to that question. Just give me 1 second. Let me finish Bitcoin Cash real quick, and I'll go back into that one, right? Anyways, this is higher low than here, so you're making less negative momentum. Again, you wouldn't necessarily want to be making more negative momentum, right? But if you are within this triangle, it's going to be hard for you to drop below it, right, and make any kind of divergence, right? Anyways, right now what I would see is this bullish divergence, this bearish divergence developing, which would mean price action to the downside. You are seeing it right now, but again, we're probably going to hit that 20 MA and see it as some sort of support, and then come down here and touch the support. Right now on the RSI, it would actually be going higher, so we would not have it on the RSI or the MACD line, just on the MACD histogram. That's going to be it for Bitcoin Cash. Now, James, I'm going to go look at your Bitcoin question real quick. Do I believe it's going to fall more? Yeah. Look, I have to go into the 1 hour. Onto the daily. This is a very crude triangle of the structure that we were in, right? To pinpoint it a little bit better, it would be this green line here, right? And this other yellow line going down, right? This yellow line going down. That's a real triangle. Here I just had it for illustrative purposes of, like, someone asked me to do a comparative of the past to right now. So I said, look, this is what happened in the past. We kind of went down, flagged a little bit, and then went up. Right now, what could happen if this was to repeat itself is go down, flag a little bit, and then go back up, right? Anyways, that is if this was to repeat. Anyways, this is a crude drawing of a triangle. I do have a green line here, but it's a little bit hard to see. It's within this other triangle, right? Starting here, going here. And what we do is we took a measure move from the top to the bottom of the structure, right? We broke out of the structure bearishly, right, to the downside. So again, what would happen is that we would take that measure move and then put it where we broke out, which would be on that candle. I kind of removed it so not to get confused and people believe that it actually came back and touched all the way down there. So again, I'll put it a couple clicks away, two bars away. It's not going to affect a lot on the price. But we broke to the downside. We would expect to see this go all the way down here, right, to 4,500. If we were to hit 100% of the measure move. However, we can go hit half of that measure move, which would put us around 7,100. That would be valid, right? Bitcoin 20,000, New Year, Eve 2019. Yeah, we were messing around with that prediction yesterday. Yeah, man, I'm not sure, man. Look, we did change our outlook on that triangle, right? We said we broke out of the triangle. A lot of people are calling it now because since we touched here and then we kind of bounced off, a lot of people are saying, man, it could potentially now be a down-sloping wedge, or like a falling wedge, right, if you want to call it. And falling wedges are bullish, right? You would usually break out of a falling wedge to the upside, right? So again, we could still come and hit that 50% of the channel, just kind of moving within this down-sloping wedge, and that would be fine, right? This is a fib of the low, right? This being the low point to the high, right? Fibonacci. We have retraced over 50% of the way. We have not hit that 618, which would be like the end of the retrace zone, right? You would see most of the retraces happen between the 382, which would be 38.2% of the way, to 61.8% of the way, where we would be retracing, right? We already passed that 50%. For a valid retrace to happen, you would have to hit that 236, so 33.6% retrace. We did hit it. We kept on retracing, right? We are expecting that we could potentially also hit that 618 and then bounce off it, which would be around 7,225, which could potentially be the midpoint of the channel. Right now, when I said 7,100, I was doing a crude eye measurement of that move. But anyways, from here to here, it could potentially be the mid part for sure. If we were to hit that mid part again, we could bounce off it and then just like start running to the upside. Maybe touch this again as resistance and then break out. If you were to break out of this, you would definitely see a lot of movement to the upside. However, you need to break out of it with a lot of volume strength happening. And you know, a lot of people are saying that this, and I do get why you're saying it's bullish and people are saying it's bullish. People are saying this is like a fake, even though we have been outside of it for a couple days, right? That it could be potentially fake, like a breakout, right? And like just getting impulse to run to the upside. It could be, man. You know, right now we would need for more things to develop before we start running, right? At least if we run to the upside, we have some areas that we're gonna hit as resistance, and if we start breaking them, we might say that we are again with a more bullish outlook. But right now it's looking bearish still. The only bullish thing that I would say is that this could be a potential falling wedge that someone pointed out, and it could play out, right? It will certainly get more touch points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would look a little bit better overall as a down sloping wedge. Again, if it was a wedge or a falling wedge, we would break it to the upside potentially and see a price action to the upside. But again, we can still keep on falling and hit that 618 before we start retracing. We could as well just turn around here and start retracing, right? Well, we retraced over 50% of the way, which would be valid retrace according to Charles Dow and Dow's theory, creator of the Dow Jones. So again, if we were to retrace, I would expect to at least hit this before we run to the upside. We talked about this the other day, and I did this really crude drawing of the pump to the upside when people were saying that it was looking like this other triangle, which I don't believe, because in this triangle we actually went and we're near that top part of the structure a lot more, and this this looks more like a downsloping. Look, this would be like a downsloping curve, right? Like that, and that actually makes a lot more sense than a triangle, right? Like you went down. Like you went out exponentially, but then you also went down like in a curve, right? All right. This, if you try to do a curve, you can't, because the structure is so well contained within this triangle, right? But again, people were saying that if this was to be true, then this could happen now. That is people just having like wishful thinking, right? And we don't do wishful thinking. We try to do real stuff with news, with charts, and then see where we're gonna go. The only thing that I see also that is possible, and we talked about it in the other stream, is that we are oversold, right? We are sitting at 23 on that oversold scale. Again, you can still dump a little bit more. You can get all the way down to much lower levels, right? We certainly have seen them over here, and we hit like let's see, where were we at over here? 9 on the RSI, right? So we could still go lower. However, it's more likely that we could run to the upside because there's so much room to run to the upside, right? What's going to happen is, look, we are doing, we are still within this sort of bear flag or bull flag that we trace, right? So you drop down, you're consolidating downwards. At some point in time, you're going to get tired of that consolidation downwards. You're going to develop more bullish divergence, and you're going to burst through the upside, right? So being out here, you're going to start to get tired, right, of being at this level. And there's 2 ways to reset the oscillators, right? One, you pump to the upside, bringing this back up with it and bringing this back to 0, more or less. Or slowly you flag around this area for a while, and then you'll start to like slowly climb back up, right? However, if you still drop a little bit, every time you drop, you're going to drop with less relative strength and less momentum. And what you're going to start doing is, even if you were to drop here, maybe you're not going to develop that much negative momentum, right? And you will start making bullish divergence that could potentially also help you propel to the upside. Again, like I'm saying, this is just very this is just a very crude drawing right now, right? So this other stuff here, I'm actually going to get rid of this, man. That and that other like squiggly line, right? I like this pattern better. I do the triangle like this so everyone could see it easier on this time frame and the line, right? Anyways, that's what I believe it could happen, right? I could believe we could still come down here, touch it, and then bounce off. It would make a little bit more sense. We could also start to recover on here, but right now we're seeing that indecision. So again, until we decide where this is gonna go, we cannot make a call, right? We have this bull flag. If we break it again, we can certainly see that price action go up. We do have some bullish stuff happening. Unfortunately, not so much on the oscillators that would indicate bullish divergence, but certainly we do have that bull flag, and we have this falling wedge now that we just seem to have developed, right? Yeah, because right now the weekend is probably going to be very still. Even though before Monday, I would say tune in to tomorrow's stream, because tomorrow night, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Basically Asia, Australia are coming online, and we might be able to see what they're doing, and then from there we might be able to see how they're waking up and what their sentiment is, right? So again, you're gonna have Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, Korea, everyone's gonna come in trading at like 8 p.m. for us. So again, tomorrow by the time we are starting to do the stream, we might start to see some movements happen, and we might be able to see where we're actually gonna go. But I would expect, at least right now, unless someone comes like a whale comes and dumps in the market, we're probably just gonna keep on moving sideways a little bit. It's gonna probably be a slow day tomorrow, right? Although we are hitting that upper part of the structure, right? Look, this channel, we touched it twice, right? Or 3 times on the top, 2 times on the bottom, right? So we kind of touched it and rejected it, right? So we're not ready to break out of the structure. If we, the more we touch it and fail to reject it, the more bearish it starts to look, right? At some point in time, we have to break out of it with strength. So yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. We're here every night, man. And thank you, Benny, and thank you, William, for being here. Um, yeah, if you guys want to look at something else, we can look at other coins, right? We can look at other projects, and if you want me to look at news for other stuff that we have not covered, do let me know a day in advance, and I will try to get those news that following day on the stream, right? So yeah, let me know. Yeah, if you want to look at something else. I want to look real quick. While you think of other coins or other projects that you want to look at, I'm just gonna look at that Bitcoin Cash real quick because I think I missed something. You on the 1 hour, man. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. I thought best exchange to convert fiat to crypto and day trade. You're asking me for the best exchange? Ah, snap, bro. It depends on your preference. Right now, we'll tell you Binance because they're not giving you any fees, right? But there's not that much volume right now. But Binance US could potentially be a good option for a couple days, right? At least until October when they start charging fees, right? Right now you can buy and sell and pay nothing on the exchange. So again, you keep 100% of your profit, or even if you get out of a loss, you're not gonna pay that extra, right? So again, right now Binance is certainly looking strong as an option, right? Now Coinbase, Gemini, or Binance. Yeah, like I said, Binance right now. After that, I would probably say Coinbase. They do have a stronger user base than Gemini, I think. Again, like I said, you want to be where there's more volume, right? And because if you want to get out of a position, you want to know that there's enough people willing to buy at that level. So you do want to be there. Anyways, right now, it looks like we are facing right now with this candle some rejection of the 20 MA. I wasn't sure yet. When we were down here, I thought we were making we were potentially going to start making some hidden bullish divergence, right? So from here to here, and I'll do this like we always do, right? Like right now we're sitting below. If we hit the line, we're not doing anything still. If we go above the line, right, I'll leave it there. But if we go above the line and this would drag over here, then you will be making hidden bullish divergence, price continuation. Yeah, hidden bullish divergence. You're broadening on the bottom part, right? Yeah, dude. Yeah, Coinbase. If you're in Coinbase, go to Coinbase Earn. Look it up online, and then you can do things on Coinbase that will give you free cryptos, right? You can get some free Dash or some free Seed Cash. I'm not sure which ones they have right now. But again, do those Earn. It's like you watch a small video. They ask you a couple questions about that crypto, and doom, you get like free cryptos, dude, to hold on your portfolio. It's not a lot, but it's something. When I got mine, I got I think like $10 or $7 worth. No, $10 worth of Binance. No, not Binance. Sorry, BAT. Yeah, basic attention token, and then I got like $3 of Zcash. Right. So again, it's free cash. It's gonna take you a couple of seconds. It's very easy, but you can do it, right? Yeah, dude, use TradingView. This is the app, the website that I'm using. It's free. You do get some advertisement that will pop up around here. You can close it. It is limited on the amount of stuff that they let you use. They only let you use 2 or 3 indicators. So right now I can only have the Bollinger Bands, the MACD, and the RSI. If I try to add something else, it'll tell me I need to go into the premium version. I really don't want to pay for it right now. But again, going into the premium version, I would be able to do more stuff at the same time. The other charts that I do sometimes occasionally look at, not charts, but um, indicators that I like to look at, right, and have them open at the same time. Anyways, TradingView is perfect for free service. Yeah, it is really good for free service. That is what I use for free right now. Again, I do like this one, and I'm using it on Brave. And dude, I closed the small ad when it started, and it hasn't popped up again. So again, it just looks perfect right now. Anyways, like I said, dude, yeah, look at the charts here before you make a call. And anyways, you don't want to just look at the chart on your exchange, because sometimes weird stuff happens on the exchanges, right? Some exchanges drop more than others, some others don't. So what you want to do is like grab your Bitcoin Cash and go look at the sorry, not your Bitcoin Cash, sorry, grab your exchange that you're gonna look at, right? And then add like 2 or 3 more trading pairs of that same currency, right? Like Bitcoin to dollar or whatever you want to do, and open it like the major exchanges, right? Like Binance. You look at where more volume is traded. You can look at that on CoinMarketCap, the website, and then you basically do the major exchanges. And what you do is you look for whether or not that same thing that you're seeing on one exchange is happening on the other two. And if it is, then that's better, right? All prices are off. What do you mean? On TradingView or on Coinbase? Right now, I'm looking at Bitcoin Cash on the Coinbase chart. But do let me know which one you think the prices are off, because I'm not sure. And this is Bitcoin Cash, so it's not going to match with what you see in the other. This will be Bitcoin, right? What is that other website? Look, there's another website that I like to look at that it's very good for like quick ideas. Let me open it up here. This will be a quick view, right? Sorta. It's from a website called Coin360. And this is very good to look at a quick overview of the market, right? You don't have to look at every coin. You just pop in here and you'll see really quickly what's going on with everyone, right? Like Bitcoin down 0.14%, Ethereum down 1.6%, XRP down 0.27%, right? And then you can see like Bitcoin Cash down. You cannot see it, but if you actually hover over it, it'll tell you like actually up 1.95%, right? BSV up 0.31%. Then you have all these micros here that you can't see. So what you do is you just hover over it and it'll tell you like what those are, right? So Elastos, Pi, whatever. So this is a good website to look very quickly at what's going on. Look, we were talking about Leo yesterday. Still sitting at 104. Link 172 up right now. Link so positive 3% up. Pesos up 0.52%. It's very little what they're up. Binance up 0.64, but Binance has dropped a lot, man. So again, yeah, this website is very quick to look at stuff. It'll paint you a real quick. If you see all red, then man, there's no hope for everyone. Everyone's going down. But sometimes you do get like, here you can see Link USDT, Maker, Paxos through US dollar. Over here, USD Tether, and then if you go over here, you'll see like everyone else, Made, AMP, whatever. It's good for quick overviews, right? Anyways, yeah, this website, I do look at it occasionally. I kind of like it. Just for quick overview when you're stressed out and you can't see it, but yeah. Coin360? Yeah, sure, man. Actually, yeah, I'll message it to you, bro. Actually, I'll put it up on chat right now. I'm not sure if it's going to let me. I think I have it blocked to websites. Yeah, there it goes. I just posted it on the chat, but again, I'll send it to you on Twitter, bro. No worries. Oh, by the way, William, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on Discord. For Discord, links in the description, and then for Twitter and Instagram, you can just look us up, the State of Crypto. You'll actually see the same logo, or actually a round logo, and then that's us, right? But yeah, like I said, dude, everything's going down right now. So, but it's not going down a lot, right? It's micro movements. Bitcoin is down like 0.69%. So it is very little. On Instagram, we just started 2 days ago. On Twitter, we are a little bit more active, and then on Discord, we are somewhat active. We used to be a little bit more active, but it just depends on the day, right? We like yesterday we went on live and we said, look, we are developing. We are tightening on the Bollinger Bands, right? And we could expect a movement, and we actually did get it right after I posted that. A couple of hours later, we burst to the upside. So I over here, I do come and post stuff. I even post sometimes from books that I have on my cell phone. Small parts of the article, right? Like 3 rising valleys, because I was wondering if we were making them or not. You know, we are sort of active. So again, we're active on all social media, right? Oh, have you never seen that site, bro? Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I like it. There's another one that does like the full market cap, but they have different numbers. They have it for total coins issued, right? For example, if you go to Coin Market Cap, Ripple, it just counts what it's in circulation, but this other app counts what Ripple has in escrow, because that has already been issued. Even though it's in escrow and is being held, that money, it's gonna go out at some point in time. And it's just like if a person was holding it, right? So it's in circulation, it's just on an escrow account. So that other side does take that into account when it does total market cap. And if you account that, then Ripple is like second right after Ethereum. Second right after Bitcoin, right? Because all those like 49 billion XRP that are stuck on that escrow certainly do add up a lot more to what's already in circulation, right? Like I said, just be careful with the information that you look at, right? If you're the thing that can happen with trading, right, and strategies is that if you start to overcomplicate it and start to do more things, if you want to look for a bullish sign, you're gonna find a bullish sign. If you want to look for a bearish sign, you're gonna find a bearish sign, right? But if you just go with simple stuff, then you're going with like the most basics, right? The market's telling you what's gonna happen, right? So the more you overcomplicate it, the more you risk that you are looking too much. And then looking for the answer that you want, right? If you want to look for something that's bearish, price is going to go down, price is going to go down, price, then it goes up, you are going to find something that was going to tell you that the price was going to go down. Even though the other stuff that you were looking at was telling you that the price was going to go up, right? And the opposite also happens, right? If you want the price to go up and you look for indicators that the price is going to go up, that's fine. But if the rest of the indicators are telling you the market is going to go down and you ignore them, right? They might have more weight over the one that you're looking at, and the market is going to crash no matter how much you want it to go up. Again, be careful when you look at which indicators you look at and how you use them, right? Yeah. Seven people tuned in, guys. Thank you for watching again. I know it's Saturday night, almost 11 p.m. for me. So if you guys want to look at something else, let me know. 7 people tuned in. Again, thank you for watching. And if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, so you're notified when we go live. We're live every night at 9 p.m. Central. Yeah. Like, give me another project and I'll look at it for sure, man. What else we looked at? We looked at... Wow, I think I have some things open down here that we can look at. Steam, doing the same thing that everyone else, right? We had this upsloping. We said bear flag. We broke to the downside of that bear flag, right? If we were to trace a much larger structure... I'm gonna have to fix this in a second. Give me a second. Here we go. We're doing a down sloping channel right now. After that, we'd actually take it from the breakout part, right? So we broke out, and then we'd just be like sideways trading right now, right? Moving sideways on that upper part of that channel. There's not much going on. If you want to do something different outside of that channel, you can for sure go here to here. Somewhat, even though this is still developing, that I don't like that part. But you would be making like an upsloping triangle of sorts. This would certainly bring some noise, and we'll have to trace something else as soon as this develops. But right now, we can say that we are just moving sideways, right? Yeah, what else? Zcash. What is Zcash doing, man? Taking a dive. Small dive, right? But still going down. So what? Same thing happened, right? We were like making like a triangle of sorts. I think we called this one out and then we erased it, right? But anyways, if I'm gonna go larger here, we would certainly be an upsloping channel, which would potentially be a bear flag. Again, you could potentially break to the downside. Have we developed something here? Yes, we did, dude. We didn't look at this coin today. We're looking at the 1 hour scale, right? So this was today in the morning, and I hadn't looked at this in the whole day. But from here to here, we're going slightly higher. Here, we're going lower, right? Making bearish divergence, price action to the downside. Look, yesterday I was talking about this, right? It's very easy to go back and look at retrospect and say, well, dude, this happened, of course. Well, this sign was there. You know, you can see it all the time. What's harder is to do it as it's developing. For me to be able to have caught this, I would have had to be looking at this during the day every time I candle closed to see what it was doing. And then I would have potentially been able to say around this time or with this candle right at 4 p.m. Oh man, we have developed bearish divergence. We're probably gonna go to the downside, right? And we also have it on the RSI. So again, until the time I would have been able to call it again. But now, right now, looking back after a dive and analyzing and say, well, yeah, of course, man, we developed that. A lot of people do that, right? And they play it off as if they always knew. Fuck, man, I didn't know because I didn't look at it, right? But now that I'm looking at it, I know that we're developing it. That's why sometimes I leave you these points where I said, look, if we go above this, we're not. If we hit this with that upside movement, we won't be doing it. We will be negating it. It wouldn't be that strong of a bearish divergence. It will become weak, and then anything above that would negate it, and it will not play out. That's why sometimes when we're doing the stream, you will see me do that, right? Like calling out things that said, look, man, right now, this is what's going on. But if this keeps on developing, it's not going to happen, right? Because some of these things do happen when you're not looking at the market. Like today, I didn't look at Bitcoin Cash, Zcash throughout the whole day. So again, obviously looking at it right now, I can see why it dumped. And I can see that, not dump, but why we saw this price action to the downside, right? Anyways, other things. Are we doing something here? Well, not yet, right? This is higher. This is still making less negative momentum than here. So nothing on the bullish side. Just that small drop from that bearish divergence that developed. Again, we don't just look at crypto. Sometimes we look at other stuff. So like if you want to name a stock, gold, silver, industry, whatever. We look at everything, right? This is a 1 hour. I actually want to look at the daily. Gold still taking a dive, man, but you know, hit that 236, that retrace zone, and actually bounce off it, right? This is the second 1 2 3 4 5 times 6 times that we've touched it and actually bounce off it after hitting that high. I'm actually gonna adjust this high a little bit more. There we go, hit it and bounce, right? And this low, it should be fine. Anyways, that would be gold. Silver, what's silver doing? Silver, on the other hand, actually hitting that went below that 238, bouncing off it right now. That's fine. Yeah. Have you tried Poloniex? I think you can also do it in the US, and I think they have more coins listed. This will be Poloniex, and they do have more coins, I think, like Zcash, Monero, Bitcoin SV, Dogecoin, Ethereum Classic, Stellar, Digibyte, EOS, Screen, Cosmos Dash, Sia Coin, BitShares, Loom Network, Clams, 0x, Made, Neem. Okay, look, man, they do have. I think they do have a larger listing than Coinbase, right? So, dude, what's this one? Pascal Coin up 10%? What the hell is that coin, man? Pask. Actually, only on Poloniex, man. Right now it's not up, right? So right now this is telling me that it's down 0.92. However, man, on the daily, man, this was yesterday, right? It was a 16% movement to the upside, bro. Damn, that's what is this coin, bro? Facing some resistance around that 20 MA right now. Volatility open on the Bollinger Bands, starting to decrease on that negative momentum and sitting at almost neutral on the RSI, right? 51. Bro, damn, dude, that's some. Like, you basically undid whatever this candle did, right? And here you are gapping a little bit. This looks like a Morningstar pattern, right? Look, I'll illustrate it for you here. Oh man, now I don't want to see how you trade Morningstar patterns. I want to show you an image of a Morningstar pattern. Here we go. Snap, you can't see it there. Maybe here. This will be a Morningstar pattern, right? This could be red or green, it doesn't matter. But you would have an impulse down, you would have some sort of gap, and this happens usually when you have stocks, so you get more gaps. When you gap down, you gap up, and then you have a bullish candle, right? I'm looking at this, and look, man, you do have a gap from this, from here to here, right? And a gap from here to here, so it does look like a Morningstar. And again, this is usually a bullish pattern that would indicate price action to the upside. Like here, you can see it on this picture, right? Morningstar gap up, and then you would have like it would indicate a pattern reversal, right? So if you were in a bear trend, it could potentially bring a bull trend, right, on the short term. So again, yeah. Right now we are facing some resistance, like I said, from that 20 MA. Let me go a little bit more micro on this 4 hours. Seeing above that 20 MA, volatility tight, a little bit open on the Bollinger Bands, widened a little bit, but I mean tighter compared to where we were at before. Starting to stagnate on that positive momentum and sitting at 53 on the RSI, which puts you at neutral. Man, let me look at the 1 hour chart. So look, man, this is going to bring price action to the downside, right? Do we want to go with wicks or not? I'm going to take the wicks for this one because it's going to make it easier to show. But from here to here, you're going down, right? So this will be slant divergence. It will still be bearish divergence developing. So that bearish divergence would mean price action to the downside. Even though you're kind of stagnating, you are starting to make that first bar. So again, you could drop down here, touch that 20 MA. I'm not going to chart this fully with supports and resistances right now. I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing quickly. But again, this could potentially bring price action to the downside, right? This bearish divergence developing. Not so much. It didn't develop on the actual RSI, just on the histogram. And if you wanted to call it, maybe you could also call it on the MACD line, right? So from here to here. Slightly low, and go in the opposite direction. So some bearish divergence developing on the 1 hour, price action to the downside. You could get it in these next few candles. Like I said, probably touch that 20 MA and then drop. Other than that, I'm just looking at this Morningstar, bro. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it actually kind of looks like the one we looked at on this example, right? You had like a couple candles going down, that red, and then one. This is still red right now, but if you kind of like overlay it, it kind of looks similar. So it kind of looks textbooky for a Morningstar pattern, right? Like you were going up, then you had that impulse down. Yeah, it looks pretty good, man. Coinbase International, they could make millions listings like Binance. Yeah. Look, Coinbase is gonna go into that game where they are going to want to catch up with Binance, right? Because Binance is gonna start bringing more projects in now. Binance, it is alleged, because I'm not sure about that, right? I have not seen it. I've never dealt with them, but it's alleged that Binance does charge whoever they list a fee for the listing, and some additional money for them to be able to insure themselves against hacks for that coin, right? So Coinbase, I'm not sure if they do that or not. Coinbase is behind the game, right? I'm not sure Coinbase has their own crypto right now, right? Yeah, Coinbase doesn't have its own crypto. Binance does, and when you use Binance crypto, you get discounts on trades, right? You get better fees than everyone else that's using just a fiat pair or a Bitcoin pair. So for using their coin, you get like a better fee. Their token, besides being useful on the exchange, actually has trade value. So again, another point for them, right? They do list more coins. Again, have much more listings on the Binance International side than the Coinbase side, and they could start bringing a lot of those projects on board so long as they comply with what they stated they had to do, right? They said they were going to look at, I think, 5 different things. We covered it in an earlier stream. I don't have it all on the top of my head, but basically project availability or viability, the team on the project, how solid they were, how much backing or integrated they were with the community. You know, they had a couple listing of like things that projects had to comply with, right? So again, I'm not sure what Coinbase is doing, but Coinbase took forever to list Ripple, man. One of the major coins, and they listed it, I think, this year, man, at the beginning of the year or something like that, right? It took them forever to list Ripple, man. And you know, I'm not sure what Coinbase is doing or what game they're playing, but if they don't want to like start losing people to Binance, they do need to get in the game and start taking more coins. They need to start doing options. They're probably gonna start to do futures, you know, because Binance already has its futures platform, right? Binance has Binance Lending. I think I saw an article about yeah, I saw an article regarding Coinbase and the fact that they were gonna start to do something like Binance, where you park your money there and you were gonna get interest. It did pop up on my on my feed. Give me 1 second though. I'll look at it real quick, man. I know it's on Binance. Um, no. It was today. So yeah, it's this one though. I didn't read it because it was from a stream, right? Or someone else's podcast. I didn't have a chance to like actually listen to it before the stream started, and that's why I did not include it on the news segment. But look, Coinbase offers interest to park cash, right? Which is a little bit like staking, right? You put your money there, which is what we said Bitcoin was, Binance was doing, right? You put your money in Binance, you leave it there, and then you get some money back just for having it there, right? So, yeah, so basically this is Paul Vigna, a reporter from the Wall Street Journal, explaining the Coinbase staking program. If you guys want to look at that, I'll post it on like Twitter or somewhere else. But you know, they are doing something similar, so they are starting to feel that heat, right? And not only them, but the CME is also coming out with options, right? CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is coming out with their options trading, like puts and calls for positions, because the Backed came online, right? And Backed is physically settled with Bitcoin, while the CME is just cash settled, right? So what are they gonna do? Because Backed is gonna start to eat their market, right? And Binance is gonna start to eat their market with their Binance futures platforms. So of course they are going to go into like now options, right? Now they're gonna be the first ones to have options. And right now, having that competition of different exchanges, besides the user having a better experience, right? Because you can always go to another exchange that quick. They are gonna have to come with innovative ways for them to keep on doing stuff, right? Binance US. Sign up, bro. If you're on the main Binance site, the major one, you might have trouble because there's a ban. If you're an American citizen, you cannot trade on the major Binance, the main one. So you have to go to the Binance US. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's Binance.us. That's the one that you have to make the account on, right? And like I said, 0 fees for all trading pairs before November the 1st. That is just amazing, bro. No fees for trading. That's certainly an edge on everyone else. Guys, I run out of water. I'm gonna get some water real quick. Stay in the stream. Think about something else that you want to look at, and then we'll look at something, right? I'll look at PHP in a second. Just give me give me a chance to get more water. I'm back. Thank you guys for waiting. Sorry about that. Snap, I forgot my... be right back again. Yeah, now I'm back for reals, man. I forgot. I went to the kitchen, served myself a glass of water, and then I just put it on the counter, and then I came in here, and I completely forgot about it on the way back. So I had to go run and get it real quick. Anyways, again, thank you for waiting. Sorry about that. I look at PHB, right? I'm not sure what project is that, but I'll look at that PHB. Mm, I'm not sure if the... Do you know what pair you want to look at that with? I'm thinking about using Paxos because I know they are one to with the dollar, so that might be like the most you can do to like if you want to get out to $1, that probably would be it, right? So I'm gonna do that one on PHP to Paxos, man. Some gappage. I don't like the charts when they have gaps. Usually on crypto, it's weird to see gaps like that. So again, I'm not liking this chart too much. I'm looking at another one, right? Maybe to snap to USD coin. I mean, snap. Let's look at this one. Still gappage, but not as much as the other one. See, these gaps in other exchanges don't exist, right? Because you have to eat them up. So let me see PHB again. Two US dollar. Would this be it? Yeah, this one's the one. All right, this is the one we're gonna look at, right? I'm gonna get rid of this other ones real quick. This is the one we like for yeah. This one's the one we're gonna look at. Yeah, some nice price action yesterday, right? That 25.75% up actually, and still going up right now. Hey, thank you, Benny. Thank you for watching, dude. Yeah, again, thank you for being here, bro, and also thank you for always sharing our links on Twitter and letting people know that we are here. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great night. Good luck tomorrow with work, and if you have time to make it to the stream, definitely you're more than welcome. You know that, right? Anyways, William, yeah, dude, this is nice price action to the upside. I'm trying to figure out on the daily if there's something that would usher it, right? I'm not finding any bullish divergence, right, from here to here. You're going to a lower low, right, on the price. I mean, if you take the wicks, you're not. Right, give me 1 second to process this real quick. Look, if we were to take the body, right, I mean, from here to here, I can see that bullish divergence that would say price action to the upside. Trying to find out something that would scream the opposite. From here to here, you made some sort of bearish divergence that brought you to the downside, and plus Bitcoin tanking helped a lot, right, with that price action to the downside. Trying to figure this out real quick. Here you would be going a little bit up, right, to this point on the chart, so slightly upsloping, down sloping, right, and here down sloping. You would be making like hidden bullish divergence. So again, but again, I wouldn't expect it to play that strong. I'm gonna have to look at a micro scale, right? So like I said, sitting around the 53 on the other side, which is on that neutral zone, starting to stagnate on that negative momentum. Let's look at the 4 hour. Here we have chop again. Anyways, it would have definitely been more choppier on the other charts. Are we doing something, man? We're going lower and making lower negative momentum. So from here to here, nothing that would scream bullish divergence, right? Again, seeing that cross off the MACD. Well, momentum starting to stagnate around here. Kind of died out really quick, that negative momentum, right? Had that nice impulse up. Again, got that cross off the MACD over the signal line. Usually when we get those, we see nice impulses like that one. Sitting at 59 on the RSI, a little bit higher on that bot scale, but still on that neutral zone. Facing some resistance around 0.007 cents. Might be psychological resistance that we faced there, but we're getting a lot of rejection from that area, right? So like the bear saying, no way, man, go back down. And let me look at the 1 hour. So basically, you are facing it, right? You failed to break above that 7 cent mark. But before, it was weird. I'm looking at it, and it had, well, maybe around here it used to be as resistance support, resistance, you know. But it's weird that you just face it there and then got rejected. I'm trying to figure out real quick, right? So you're going high, making more negative, more positive momentum. That is fine. That's going with the market. Also, same with the RSI. You hit overbought though on that scale, and that, I mean, it's not the only thing that could. Yeah, it's so choppy, right? You hit overbought. It's not the only thing that would bring you down, but again, being overbought on the scale would certainly say like, dude, you have to go back to price. You have to cool off, reset the oscillators, and then run up again, right? If you were gonna run up, but right now I'm not looking at anything that would say that you have finished running, basically. But again, I'm not looking at anything that say that you should have run to the upside, right? Well, here maybe, yeah, here it is on the 1 hour. This would be the culprit. Right, so you'll be making a bullish divergence there. On the 1 hour, price action to the upside. You did get it, kind of struggled a little bit. Like I said, dude, these chops, these dojis that have nothing, just look like flat lines. It means that there was no trades, right? It just opened and closed at the same level. The market didn't move. Some gapage, but again, nothing, no one pushing the price, right? Here you had some volume traded. Look at these, man. Almost no volume, definitely no volume here, right? This is the volume part. Anyways, you had that bullish divergence. Again, price action to the upside. You also had it on the RSI, right? So that's what's bringing you to the upside. Right now, I'm not looking at anything that says that you have finished running, right? For this to say that you have finished running, I mean, you can still just go down naturally, right? And that would be fine. However, for this to say you have finished running, you have to have an impulse up and either make more positive momentum and make lower price, right? And make some kind of hidden bullish divergence, or go higher but fail to get higher on price, right? So you would be going, you would be going like here, and then you would be going like here, right? That would be a bullish divergence, bearish divergence, and that would see you to hit price action to the downside. Right now, if you were to go the opposite, right, like make more positive momentum and make a lower price, that would be hidden bearish divergence, right? That would see you on price continuation, basically. Again, that's what I'm seeing at right now. Not sure if it's gonna keep on pumping. However, it would suggest that we, like I said, we didn't develop anything that's bearish up here. That would suggest that we have finished running. We could just be cooling off the RSI, right? And that's why it's going down right now. But that impulse up, man, it all happened. When did we open? We opened. Nah, I'm looking. What? This is weird, dude. I'm looking at the 1 hour, but it's giving me like days. Is it? Yeah, it's jumping. This is weird. The chart was telling me I was on the 24th back here, and that's impossible. If it's the 1 hour time frame, I'm not going more than 24 bars, and that's what I'm trying. You have learned so much. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Trying to figure out. See, it looks like a 4 hour jump, right? Look, if you look at the time frame on the bottom part, like right down here, it says like 27.3, right? And then it says 4, and then it jumps. Dude, it was jumping weird, like from here, right? 8. I don't have a 9. It just jumps from like 8 till 10, and then it jumps to 11, and then it jumps until like 3 p.m. or 3 in the morning, dude. That's weird. It's like nothing happened the whole day. It's awkward to look at the chart like this. Maybe there's no data. For some reason, it's looking weird. I am on the 1 hour time scale, and I'm still trying to figure out why it's not showing, right? I wanted to look at the 27th at 9 p.m. because I want to see where we started today. This would be today. Anyways, and this is actually the 24th. And then this will be on the 20. It's not the 1 hour scale, man. It looks weird. There's something off with this chart. I'm gonna have to look at a better one. But anyways, that'll be it, man. Yeah, well, you know, keep on showing up, dude. We're very mellow, and if you want to look at other projects, we can keep on looking at whatever, right? But for tonight, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Yeah, it's already 11:18 p.m. So I've been live for 2 hours and 20 minutes almost. And I mean, I could certainly keep on going, but I do want to go grab something to eat. I haven't had dinner yet, so definitely want to go grab something to eat. Yeah, anyways, guys, if you like what we do, you know, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Show this video to your friends when you're off the air, right? If you want them to learn something about crypto, if you want to get them into crypto, you can show them. They can come here. We can all start talking about cryptocurrencies, you know, and we're fine with that. That's what we want to do. We want to get a community going here. So again, yeah, no worries, bro. We're here for that, right? Have a great night. Go out and enjoy your rest of your Saturday night. For some of you, might actually already be Sunday, right? So again, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.